Grabbed a butcher knife and I chased my little brother around the house with it. Chased him upstairs. My mom just screaming, "Get in the room! Lock it, Billy! Lock the door!" You know, and he locked himself in a room. And I stood outside the door. And this really happened. I'm saying creepy stuff like, "I'm gonna get you, Billy."
Here's Johnny.
What up, I'm Rob Level, and I'm about to tell you the crazy screwed up story about how I was chasing my brother around with a butcher knife. That little incident that got me thrown into an insane asylum when I was 9 years old.
This is going to hurt.
But first, I'd like to thank you for watching this video because I know it's going to help a lot of people. Disclaimer, this story is pretty intense, so I'm sorry if it brings up any trauma for you like it does for me. Let's get into it. So after I got out of the psychiatric hospital that my guardian had put me in, my mom, who had given me up for adoption, said, "Oh, he's better now. I'll take him back. Let me get him back." So my mom asked my guardian, "Can I take him over the summer?" And my guardian also thought maybe he is better. So she agreed. So I went to Colorado, where my mom lived. I saw my little brother, saw my stepdad, got choked out by some big ass ninth grader that almost killed me. And that's actually a really crazy story that I'll tell in more detail at a different time. But less than a month ago, the district attorney in Colorado called wanting to know if I believed that this guy who choked me when he was in ninth grade should get that charge taken off of his record to get it expunged. And I'm thinking,
damn, son.
I forgot about that. Obviously, I'm not holding a grudge. Obviously, I don't want to hold him back in life. And he needed to get it expunged for some reason. So, I called her and I told her, here's what happened. I don't want to hold him back. It's not fair to even do that. I didn't even know that he had been charged with something that was non-expungable on his record. Because I have things that are non-expungable on my record. And you actually have to ask a judge to get it taken off. And because he was doing that, it clearly was important to him in his life. So I just said, yeah, I'm cool with it. Take it off his record. He did almost kill me though. So that's probably why it was non-expungable. He might have not even been in ninth grade. I think he might have been. No, he's pretty big. Anyway, everything was all fine and dandy, right? And I was just screwing around. Fell down a flight of stairs. My mom was standing there and all. Okay, she's looking at me like, oh my God, like wondering if I was hurt because I fell down the stairs and I started laughing. And just because of her reaction, giving me attention, I threw myself down the next flight of stairs. I love the attention. She freaked out, and that's why I kept doing more stuff. But later in life, I realized why she had freaked out so much. It's because her old boyfriend Phil, that I used to watch beat her, had actually thrown her down the stairs one time. That's why her whole arm has this scar all the way up her arm, and she has a metal plate in her arm from that situation. It's a huge scar. Like just pushed her down some stairs. So looking back as a grown man, I was like, that's why me going down those stairs was even more of something that was like, oh my God, he's gonna break his arm. I mean, if my kid rolled down the stairs, I'd be freaking out too. But obviously, I didn't know that at 10 years old. To me, it felt like a massage. By the way, they were carpeted stairs. I bet you those stairs get dirty easy. Why would you have carpeted stairs? 10 years old, you're limber. You feel invincible, right? And she was screaming, "Don't do that. You're gonna give me a heart attack," and stuff like that. And just out of attention and wanting more of it, I did more stuff. And then more stuff. And it all added up. And my mom kept freaking out more. She kept giving me more and more attention that she hadn't given me my whole life. She had given me up for adoption, I guess. I was feeding on it. And like anyone suddenly addicted to something, you gotta keep doing more. And you gotta keep doing more of it to really get the high, right? Went to the extreme, grabbed a butcher knife, and I chased my little brother around the house with it. Chased him upstairs, right? And my mom just screaming, "Get in the room! Lock it, Billy! Lock the door!" And he locked himself in a room. And I stood outside the door. And this really happened. I'm saying creepy stuff like, "I'm gonna get you, Billy."
Here's Johnny.
Now he's in the door. He's screaming. He's crying. I could hear him. I remember he had to get that door closed because I was right there. My foot was, not my whole foot, but I was leaning on the door. He's he's heavy, right? Even when he was younger than me. So he was able to get the door closed. But I was saying stuff like, "I'm gonna get you, Billy." And I was saying it just like that, like Chucky in Child's Play. Like seriously, because I'd seen a lot of Child's Play when I was a kid. Now, while I'm kind of laughing at this, grown as I am now, okay, this kid that we're talking about, me, had serious problems. But at the time, I knew that I was just doing it for attention, okay? I knew I was just kidding, and I meant him no harm, right? But how the hell was my mom supposed to know that? She probably was having flashbacks at the time they found me in my little brother's crib with a knife when I was 4 years old. This is my same little brother. So, of course, they called the cops on me. And then the cops came and they started asking me why I did it. And I just said, I was kidding. Well, I guess that didn't fly because I was smiling the whole time like it was all a joke. So, the cops looked at me like I was crazy, but like I was super innocent. Kind of like they were, looking at like a rabid puppy, right? Talking to me like a rabid puppy. And I'm smiling all there because the cops are now giving me attention. My stepdad came home and he was giving me that, "What the hell is wrong with this kid?" look, like he usually did. And I remember my stepdad saying, "I don't want him here, get him out." And I remember my mom crying, tissue in hand. 4 or 5 cops were sitting in my room talking to me, downstairs in the house. I remember the sun was coming out right on my right side, and one of the cops actually asked me, if I was attempting to kill myself when I threw myself down the stairs. And my mom was standing right behind him. So for attention, I said, yes, with a smile on my face. And the cop looked back at my mom with that look like, what the hell did you do to this kid? This is funny. Well, it's not funny. It's funny to me. It's funny to me. All right, leave me alone. I have to make fun of this stuff. Otherwise, I can't live with it, okay? Right? Then he turned back to me and he asked, if you stay here, will you try to kill yourself again? Guess what I said? Just take a guess. Yup.
Yep.
Now, I had always thought that my mom had been the one that decided to send me to the psychiatric hospital. But it turns out that it was because after I said I would attempt to kill myself, they were required by law to send me there. Which is what I learned with this conversation with my mom when I was confirming all the details about my story before I got it tattooed on me, because you don't be stuck with that.
And I said, no, let me take a home, please calm down. And they said, no, they couldn't do it because you told them you were going to kill yourself. They didn't take that lightly, Rob.
I remember the ambulance drivers are actually the ones who drove me there. So I was in an ambulance, and by the way, this ambulance trip cost $900 from here to the place. It was $900, and I remember my uncle, who was married to my aunt who adopted me, he complained about this $900 bill for at least 10 years after they got that bill. Because they got the bill, because my mom, and he was always saying, why didn't she drive you? She should have drove you. Why'd she do that? You know what I'm saying? He was mad, because $900 was a lot of money in my family.
He ain't lying.
So he was mad about that forever. But either way, when I was inside of the ambulance, I was perfectly fine. Non-restrained and having full conversations with them. I'm looking at stuff in the ambulance like, what's this? What's that? What's that do? Right? And then they laugh at me, like, oh, yeah, that's cute, like a rabid puppy. And they'd explain what the stuff was. Now, my mom, she followed in a car behind us. When we got there, she parked like 50 yards away. And she waved and cried as I was escorted into the psychiatric ward. What happened is apparently the cops told her she wasn't allowed to be near me or even speak to me anymore. And this was because she wasn't actually my legal guardian. My aunt who adopted me as a dying wish to my dad was my guardian at this time. Now this whole time I had no idea where I was going. It was all fun and full of attention. Got the ambulance drivers that giving me attention. Got the cops giving me attention. Attention, I love it. And I didn't realize that, oh, I'm not going back out that door today, am I?
Oh, hell no.
I was now in a mental hospital for children. And I remember the staff had tasers on them. Middle of the day in this place. They would slightly dim the lights and make us take naps on a cot. All the cots were in rows and rows of them, right? Kids on them. Some of the kids in straitjackets. Not kidding you. The staff would walk between the cots every day at nap time to make sure that your eyes were closed. And if they weren't, they tell you to close your eyes, right? One time I said I wasn't tired. And they're like, well, close your eyes and try. So you were not even allowed to have your eyes open at that time. As a kid, I recall this being some of the worst days of my life, and because I absolutely hated it there. Like I planned my escape every time I heard that door buzz. They let people out. Like, so I was plotting. And one time I saw the people about to come in, so I slowly made my way towards the front door. As soon as they were buzzed in, I slid past them, like brushed the person, swoop, I'm out, I'm in, run for it. Slid right past them, only to find out what I didn't realize when I first entered this place. There were 2 doors that had to be buzzed to let you in and out. I felt free for about 5 seconds. I hit the second door that was placed there just for someone like me. And then I got restrained by the staff. Now, if you're thinking, why would he think he can get out and escape? Well, if you know my stories about how I used to run away from the daycare centers, you'd understand how I just had the mindset of, I don't want to be here. I don't care what you're talking about. I'm leaving, peace. And I just juked the daycare center workers and run all the way home and get on the roof of my house so they couldn't get to me, right? Like all the time, till I got banned from the daycare centers. So to me, I thought, I don't want to be in this mental hospital place with these other crazy kids, so I'm out. But here's what's even more screwed up. Because my mom wasn't my legal guardian at the time, she wasn't allowed to get me out of that place. My aunt was my legal guardian, and she was halfway across the country on an army base and had no idea that this had happened, okay? So I wondered how my mom and my stepdad told my aunt, hey, you can pick him up from this mental hospital. Here's the address in Colorado, right? But I do remember when my Aunt Susie came to get me out, and she didn't fly because we were too broke. She couldn't afford a ticket, so she had to drive halfway across the country to come get me. When she finally got there, I had no idea she was even coming, right? I didn't even know how long I was in there because all the days just ran together. When she did get me, I felt like I had just been saved from a pitch black room or like a black hole and hadn't seen light in months type thing, you know? And what's more unfortunate is that when she had to come get me from Texas all the way in Colorado, that was the last straw for the Army, right? Because she had to leave the field dozens and dozens of times because of all my issues, like running away from the daycare centers, like I said, cracking my babysitter's skull open on a brick wall,
oh God, all
the fights at school, breaking my teacher's leg in 2nd grade, you know, etc. I'll tell you guys those stories too in other videos, but this interfered with her job so much, they honorably discharged her, like, you know, you need to go take care of this kid because clearly you can't have this job and take care of him at the same time. She had sent me to psychiatric living hospitals for kids for almost 2 years, and those didn't work. Medication didn't work, so the Army was just like last straw. So we moved back to Southside Chicago where I was born, and this is just the beginning. It gets way worse from there, which I'll tell you in the next part of the story. I'm gonna put a link below, and I'll put it up here at the end of this video. I wanna say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Please share your painful or joyful stories below, as well as opinions and thoughts about my story below in the comments so I can see them. I say this because you never know who's gonna read your story, or who your story or what you say is gonna help somebody in the future, because I'm really promoting this. Millions of people are gonna see these. And if you have a second, please comment below on other people's stories to let them know that they're heard by other people, and there are people out there who do care. And I'd love to see what you wanna change about your life too. If you're struggling with anything, write it out below. No one's judging you. And I'm gonna be scanning these, deleting people who are hating on other people, so don't even attempt that, all right? You'll see them in the comments reading and responding to these. Lastly, please do me a huge favor, like and subscribe to this video, because it'll help it share to more people so I can inspire and motivate them with this, because of how the YouTube algorithm works. It'll share more organically from you simply doing those for me, okay? Now, to hear more of my screwed up story or see any of the other crazy stories that happen, I put links of all the stuff that's part of my life story song below this video for you. And I made the title so good, you're gonna wanna watch every single one of them. And they're all crazy. Now I'm gonna put a few of those on the screen here that I recommend for this video, while a song of mine that fits this story plays in the background. I'm Rob Level. Keep believing in yourself and keep hustling. And I'll see you at the top. Seconds later, I get this call. Rob, we gotta get you out of here. We gotta get you out of here. Where are you, man? I'm coming to get you. Stay away from the spot. Just pick them up. They got him right now. I instantly knew what would happen. DEA came and they ripped apart the entire place.
Level. Working 9 to 5, saving to survive. Pay the bills and put a little to the side.